That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I know in the last video we had a ton of people coming out saying, Mason, you're an idiot. How do you not have player X ranked in the top 12? And to be completely honest, I know a lot of people really don't like the YouTube comment section because people can be a little bit toxic there. People can be a little bit hypercritical. And I'm the exact opposite. I love it when you go down to the comment section telling me why I'm stupid. I don't want to hear just, Mason, you're an idiot, but I want to hear, Mason, you're an idiot because you think this instead of this, and here's why. And if we can have conversations like that where you can go down to the comment section and let me know why you think I am wrong with one of these rankings, I am not going to be completely set in stone here. I mean, obviously, if you bring something to my attention that I may be overlooking, I'm happy to reconsider. I'm happy to go out there and have that conversation with you. So please, as always, if you think I'm stupid with anything I say in this video, I want to know. I want you to leave that comment telling me so, and that goes for every single video going forward. But that's it. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be going through the rest of our top 24 wide receiver rankings. Hopefully, we can get through all of them. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster than we've been going previously with the videos. And if you have not had the chance to watch our 2 previous wide receiver rankings videos, either A, go back and watch them right now, or B, I'm about to go through the top 12. I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just going to give you the names so you know who is not going to be in this video where we go through in depth the rest of the top 24. So spoiler alert, real quick, I'm about to say it if you want to go and watch those first 2 videos. All right, that's enough time. Let's get into it. Our first wide receiver ranked for 2021 was Tyreek Hill, then Stephon Diggs, then Devontae Adams, then DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, and lastly, Amari Cooper. So for this one, we are going to be talking about 13 through 24. And as always, go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And our first player that we're going to be talking about at the very top of our wide receiver 2 rankings is going to be Allen Robinson. And here with Allen Robinson, I know a lot of people are just sitting on the fence right now with what he is going to be doing in 2021. People can't make up their mind and going, okay, he's going to get franchise tagged. He's going to be on a new team. And I know it would be exciting to see Allen Robinson out of Chicago. But if we look at this from an objective lens, the Chicago Bears view themselves as a contender. I mean, we obviously have seen this lately with the decisions that this franchise has decided to make in trading away draft picks for different veteran assets. So I think the last thing that this team decides to do is let Allen Robinson go. Allen Robinson is easily worth the franchise tag for the Chicago Bears. Now, I know we want him free. We know we want him away from Mitchell Trubisky, but Trubisky, also free agent. Trubisky probably not going to be in Chicago. They are going to be looking at a new quarterback in 2021. And the question is, who is that going to be? Because Allen Robinson, so far in his NFL career, has looked like a dominant alpha wide receiver. But the problem is, his QBs so far have been Blake Bortles, then he's had Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, then right back to Trubisky. So, yeah, I mean, Allen Robinson may be one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL, and we may just never get the chance to see what he could be if he had a Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray throwing to him like DeAndre Hopkins. I know a lot of people want to make the argument saying that if A-Rob was in a different situation, he'd be a top 5 wide receiver, and I can see that argument, but the problem is, I mean, there's no path currently for Chicago to go out there and get that significant upgrade at the quarterback position unless they're able to actually fulfill Russell Wilson's request and go out there and trade for Russell Wilson. And I promise you, if that happens, Allen Robinson would be in the top 5 of our wide receiver rankings. Or if somehow he escapes Chicago, I would love to move him up as well. All right, so now going down to 14, we are going to have another free agent wide receiver, another player that I'm expecting to get hit with the franchise tag, but we are not 100% sure. And this is going to be Chris Godwin coming in at 14. And with Godwin, I mean, we've kind of had a wild ride on him. Y'all know that his breakout year in 2019, when he was going in the 4th, 5th round of high-stakes fantasy redraft leagues, I was sitting here and going, guys, y'all are falling for the hype. Chris Godwin ain't it. And then I just continuously talked about why Chris Godwin was a fade for me. And then he came out and he just completely embarrassed me. I mean, destroyed fantasy football leagues in 2019 with Jameis Winston, when Jameis Winston was able to lead the NFL in passing. Then we have Tom Brady coming in 2020, and we go, okay, with Godwin, yes, he's proven that we were wrong. Godwin is that elite level talent, but Brady isn't going to be that high volume DGAF quarterback like we saw with Jameis Winston, so we are going to see Chris Godwin take a step back. And another thing that we saw with Godwin, which was actually surprising, is we saw both Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson looking a little bit better than we expected, and this team brought Antonio Brown in. So I'll say with Godwin, it's an interesting situation where I know you want to say playing with Tom Brady would be the best situation for him. But we look at Tom Brady and go, okay, he doesn't exactly have the arm strength that he has previously had in his NFL career. And you also look at the fact that he would be having to play alongside Mike Evans, which he has done his entire career, but Mike Evans is at the same time that high-volume wide receiver who's going to be consistently getting targeted in the red zone. So I think for Godwin, if he could possibly escape this situation, say we ended up seeing the Miami Dolphins spin the bag on Chris Godwin and then go out there and at the same time flip that number 3 pick overall for Deshaun Watson, even if they have to throw something else in there. And we saw Watson and Godwin pairing up in Miami. That's another scenario, just like we talked about with Allen Robinson. I mean, he would be skyrocketing up these rankings because I know on paper, saying that you're playing with the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady sounds great for Chris Godwin. And then you go down to the specific scenarios where we're talking about his target share and the fact that this is a team that wants to lean a little bit more on defense rather than high volume passing. And then you go, okay, great wide receiver, maybe not the best situation, just like Allen Robinson with a better quarterback. All right, so now I know this next wide receiver, this is going to be an aggressive ranking. We are going to get some hate for this, but I don't care. We are going with our guts. We're not just copying and pasting other rankings like I know a lot of people do. Here we're going to be going with DJ Moore at 15. And yes, DJ Moore, I don't want to say was disappointing last year, but through stretches where Robbie Anderson was just seeing that significant target share, I mean, DJ Moore was someone that was hard to rely on, and I was expecting that massive year 3 breakout. But still, someone sent in our Patreon chat earlier today that DJ Moore is actually the only wide receiver over the past 2 years that has had over 1,200 yards from scrimmage both years. And we know that DJ Moore is insanely young. Just like we really love Juju Smith-Schuster, I mean, DJ Moore has that historic age-adjusted production. So even though the quarterback situation is disgusting in Carolina, I mean, if you look at the way that Carolina is kind of restructuring all their contracts currently, making sure that they are going to be fitting some more space with their cap space, I think that this is a team that's quite possibly looking to make a move at quarterback. Maybe they bring in a rookie with their 8th pick. Maybe they trade up slightly. And we know that Curtis Samuel is also an upcoming free agent this year. So Curtis Samuel probably going to be out of Carolina. And that's going to leave DJ Moore seeing a ridiculous target share. So yeah, DJ Moore, I'm going to have him up here at 15, even though I know a lot of people are not going to like that. All right, so now our next wide receiver is probably someone that y'all want higher than this. I just can't do it. We are going to have Keenan Allen coming in at 16. And yes, Keenan was a high-end wide receiver 1 after Justin Herbert took over. After Justin Herbert took over, we saw Keenan Allen have a ridiculous amount of volume. And I'll say a couple things here. One, we know that Justin Herbert is under that rookie contract, so the Chargers should find it very easy to go out there and make space to bring in another wide receiver through free agency. This is a great wide receiver class and really make the push to win this season. So I'm expecting Keenan Allen to be fighting for targets with another wide receiver in that offense. And also, most weeks where Keenan Allen was just dominating the target share in Los Angeles, Austin Eckler was not healthy, and that's going to make a difference. That's going to make a difference in the projection that you are having with Keenan Allen, as Austin Eckler is one of those running backs that should easily be seeing more than 10% of the targets in his team's offense. So here, I think that Keenan Allen is going to have his targets squeezed from two separate directions. Now, very similar to some of these other players. I mean, these rankings are subject to being changed. I mean, if the Chargers prove me wrong, if they do not decide to invest into another wide receiver, either through the draft or through free agency, then Keenan Allen is going to have a higher projected target share, so he will be moving up from 16. But yeah, right now, I'm going to have him lower than consensus. All right, so now our next player coming in at 17, also very, very disappointing this past year with injuries, just like someone else that we are going to be talking about later. And this is going to be Kenny Golladay. Okay, so with Golladay, yeah, I mean, it was the most frustrating thing ever. It was just like Joe Mixon in that he probably could have came back about halfway through the year. But the problem was the Lions were not playing for anything. Golladay was up for a new contract, so there was no reason for him to go out there and for him to risk that hip injury. But at the same time, we are going, okay, while he's an elite talent, while I think the injury scares are a little bit overblown, what's not overblown is the fact that he's going from Matthew Stafford to Jared Goff, and that's going to be a significant downgrade. Whereas I know it's great to think of Kenny Golladay possibly escaping Detroit, possibly leaving through free agency, but this team is going to franchise tag him. I mean, everybody and their mom knows that. Just because Golladay, like Allen Robinson, one of those elite wide receivers, and if you look at how much it will cost to franchise tag a wide receiver this year, I mean, it will be like significantly less than what you saw DeAndre Hopkins just sign that massive extension with. So I think a lot of these wide receivers that are free agents, like Kenny Golladay and Allen Robinson and possibly Chris Godwin, I think they are going to be hit with the franchise tag. Yet on the other side of this, we can say what's good for Golladay is that Marvin Jones is probably going to be gone from this offense because this is a team that probably shouldn't be playing to compete this upcoming season. They probably should go into a slight rebuild. But regardless, Marvin Jones is going to be that free agent, and I think that they let him walk based on the fact that they are going to be hitting Kenny Golladay with that franchise tag. So yeah, I mean, maybe we see more targets open up that way, but the problem is, I mean, Jared Goff coming in is going to significantly hurt the overall ceiling on this offense. All right, so now coming in at 18, let's call it here. This is going to be the last ranking. I'll make another video where we go through our next 6 to round out the top 24. But anyway, coming in at 18, we are going to not have Adam Thielen, where I know a lot of people are probably screaming, saying, Mason, where's Adam Thielen? Where's Deontay Johnson? Where's my other wide receiver X? And those guys will probably be talked about in the video coming out the next day. But here we are going to have CeeDee Lamb, one of the most exciting young wide receivers in the NFL currently. And yeah, I mean, I had his teammate up there at number 12 with Amari Cooper. But CeeDee Lamb is just an elite talent. I mean, this is why he was our wide receiver 1 coming into the NFL draft last year. CeeDee Lamb is a special wide receiver, especially with what he can do after the catch. We know that by no means is he that just absurd Henry Ruggs type athlete. But if you look at how he can make defenders miss in the open field, I mean, he has something with him that very, very, very few wide receivers possess in the NFL. And before Dak Prescott went down, just like we were talking about with Amari Cooper, I mean, this Dallas Cowboys offense was on pace to being one of the best offenses in NFL history. And while, yes, there are a couple concerning things here, I mean, Dak Prescott's injury was gruesome, and we really want to monitor his situation coming into 2021. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is a straight-up baller. He was able to do what he did in his rookie season at 21 years old. I'm expecting him to take a significant step up in his second year. So yeah, we are going to have Lamb here at 18. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton, and I'll see y'all with the video tomorrow.